Next, I welcome the event coordinator, Professor Muthulakshmi ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. And the faculty members and the resource person, very important resource person, alumni of our department, Professor Keswaraja sir. Keswaraja.
Sir, good morning. Welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. And administrative staff and my dear research scholars of our department. So it gives me very pleasure to give one-day webinar on deep learning related topics under using Google Colab. So nowadays, everybody know that this kind of topic is very important for our future career. Without knowing this, from the net also we can collect it. But we have a very efficient resource person is with us. Frequently, he is coming up to our department also to give workshops in online and offline mode. I think he crossed more than 100 workshops so far. See that. Frequently, he is visiting so many colleges, nearby engineering colleges and universities, and he is frequently upgrading his knowledge also. Okay, that is very important for our profession. So with this, I once again welcome all for this wonderful webinar on deep learning technique. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for welcoming address. Next, I would like to welcome our Honorable Professor and Head, Dr. A. Suryandi, sir, for delivering the presidential address.
Good morning, Keswaraja.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, today you have one more day that's exclusively meant for the research scholar, right? So you have organized a few programs earlier in the last semester, and it's in the continuation of that one that also that we have arranged. Our Professor Dr. Balasubramaniam and Dr. Muthulakshmi, they have arranged together this webinar on machine learning, right? And the topic, deep learning. Yeah, deep learning, right? Is a deep learning, right? And about the resource person, of course, you know, right? He is our own student. He did his ME degree here, followed by he did his PhD under the guidance of Dr. Balasubramaniam, right? And PhD from an university, ME under the guidance of Dr. Balasubramaniam. And the thing is that about the resource person that I can say quote many things about him, right? Being a good to all is a very difficult task, right? That's one of the very good quality of the resource person. Keswaraja is a very in a student point of view, I say that's very obedient boy, very obedient student, and that he has gained a good name to all the faculty members, right? Student that's a quite nature, right? If my students that always show respect to me, and other students that will say good morning, good evening, that's different. And being saying that everything from the heart, right? That giving the respect from the heart is a very good high quality of the resource person. Keswaraja, என்னுடைய ஸ்டூடெண்டா இருந்தா கூட அவன்றது நான் படிக்கிறதுக்கு நிறைய விஷயம் இருக்கு. அவன்றது நான் உரிமையோட பேசுறேன் இந்த இடத்துல. Though he is a professor of Srinathanagar College, right? And as professor quoted, he is master in delivering the content. He is master, right? Again, that we all the people have to learn from him. Right? He is a subject expert, right? And he has almost in the south region, everybody knows who is Keswaraja. All the colleges that he has delivered, the webinar or in-person class or the workshop or something like that, right? Such an eminent scholar, and today he has given his consent to be the resource person for this wonderful deep learning technique, right? And of course, few students are that in the initial stage that you are yet to start your research work, maybe this may be helpful to you to proceed with your research work, and few may be in the middle stage or few may be in the last stage too, right? But of course, you know, this upcoming not upcoming, that's already the technique is there, deep learning is already there. And you can vary the different applications, so you can put use of the deep learning for your application, whatever it may be, right? Any kind of machine learning, right? Whether it is image processing or it's the data processing or anything that you can apply the deep learning techniques. And being the most widely technique in the machine learning today, that is the right time and the up time to learn such a techniques, deep learning and its implementation. So knowing through the overall concept will not help you rather than implementing. How to do it practically, that is more important. And I hope that through this webinar, you will get more practical experience and you will learn all the techniques, right? So this again, I say that this is a wonderful day for you all, the research scholar. Whether you do the research on the deep learning or not, just forget it. And this technique, whatever you learn, either it's going to help you in your research work, or once you become, after PhD, naturally you will be the teacher, one more teacher, right? And after your completion of your PhD, it's no doubt that you may have in a position to handle that subject to your students, and this will give you the fundamental. This will give you the base. So for this thing, let me congratulate and thank Professor Dr. Balasubramaniam and Dr. Muthalakshmi for arranging such a wonderful seminar. I wish you good luck. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. J. Muthalakshmi ma'am to give a short info about our resource person.
So let me first thank our respected HOD and our Balasubramanian sir for organizing such a nice webinar for our research scholars. I'm very happy to introduce our chief guest, Dr. D. Kesavaraja sir. Dr. D. Kesavaraja sir is working as an associate professor, Department of CSE, Dr. Sivanthi Ajnar College of Engineering, Tirchandur. He has more than 16 years of teaching and research experience. He has completed his BE Computer Science from Jayaraj Annapakyam CSE College of Engineering, Nazareth, and his ME in 2005. He has completed his BE and ME CSE from Manonmayam Sundanar University in 2010, and he has completed his PhD from Anna University in the year 2019. He is a co-author of book titled Fundamentals of Computing and Programming and Fundamentals of LaTeX Programming, and published 6 book chapters including Elsevier and IGA Global. He received SAP Award of Excellence from IIT Bombay, an Outstanding Reviewer Award from Elsevier Computers and Electrical Engineering Journal. He has published many national and international journal and conference papers. He is a recognized PhD supervisor from Anna University, Chennai. 2 research scholars are at present currently doing research under his guidance. He has served as a reviewer for many scientific journals such as Springer, Elsevier, IET, Taylor and Francis, and he has served as a technical program committee member for various international conferences. He has guided 2 student R&D projects sponsored by IE Kolkata and TSST. He presented 200 FDPs, seminars, webinars, and workshops. He has presented 2 international webinars, one at Malaysia and the other one at Malwai. His research areas include cloud computing, IoT, machine learning, and blockchain technology. I am very happy to introduce our chief guest. Sir, now the session is yours, sir. Please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, please have a good day.
Thank you.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. So, very fine. Good morning. So, first of all, my sincere thanks to all my faculties for providing one more opportunity to present a webinar on deep learning. So, sincere thanks to Shurliandi sir, for professor and head of the department CSE, then my guide, Dr. Balasubramanian sir, then Muthalakshmi ma'am. So, sincere thanks to all the faculties. Then, so without all the faculties, I'm not here for presenting this webinar. So, sincere thanks to all. So, the webinar which will be titled as Deep Learning with Python using Google Colab. So, a small agenda for this 2-hour session. So, starts from a base. So, anyway, all are very much familiar about the same. So, just for 2 or 3 slides for introduction about deep learning. So, 2 slides for deep learning introduction. Then you are directly entering into a hands-on demo on Google Colab. Then supervised learning. So, all are more familiar about supervised learning. So, base of machine learning. So supervised learning with the example of decision tree, random forest in regression as well as classification. So supervised learning, decision tree demo, random forest, both regression as well as classification. Then there are several set of metrics for analyzing the algorithm. So some of the system metrics named as precision, recall, and F1 score with the real-time example. Then directly you are entering into deep learning. So CNN, image classification using CNN, then text recognition or speech recognition using recurrent neural network. Then some of the application. This is a plan for today's agenda. So starts from a small intro on deep learning. So anyway, the basic definition of deep learning. So deep learning, it's normally a computer program that can identify what something is. So the major theme of deep learning, we choose to identify what object is. So whether it's a cat or dog. So this is a major theme. This is a conceptual definition of deep learning. So deep learning is a computer program that can identify what something is. So the technical definition. So deep learning is a class of machine learning algorithm. So deep learning, it's a class of machine learning algorithm. So the algorithm is same. So it's also comprising of machine learning algorithm in the form of NN, in the form of neural network that uses a cascade of layer, that uses multiple tiers of processing unit to extract feature from the input data, from an input image, and make a predictive guess what about a new data, what the data is, or a predictive guess about a new data. So that's a major theme of deep learning. So deep learning, it's used to identify what the object is, whether it's a cat or whether it's a dog. Otherwise, it's used to recognize the speech or something called as text. So this is a major theme of deep learning. So it's a basic definition of deep learning. So the basic theory. So a system is a dump. All are very much familiar about the dump. System is a mechanical device. So it's a dump device. So it won't perform anything. So you can provide your own idea to the system to learn more to process the data. So system is a dump. It's a mechanical device. It won't do anything. So it's our duty to train our system to analyze what the data is, whether it's a cat or dog, whether the object is cat or dog. So it's our duty to train the system. So based on huge amount of data. So big data. All are very much familiar about the term big data. So huge amount of data. So lot of input examples, system can automatically train and say whether the given object is cat or dog, whether the given object is cat or dog based on our input. So this is a simple example, very sample task. So image recognition system. So our goal is to design an image recognition system. So that determine based on all the features. For example, initially you are providing extracting feature where the tires are, if a car in the sense which comprising of 4 tires, etc., etc. But actually how a baby lands the object, how a baby land what the object is. So initially you can see the object or photo of that object. This is cat. The next photo, this is cat. Next photo again, this is cat. So the baby automatically trained, the brain automatically, the baby brain automatically trained, and then thinks that cat is like this. The eyes are something like this. The nose are something like this. So automatically the baby thinks like that. Then whenever a baby see the cat, it automatically tells that, she automatically tells that this is cat. So same way, how a baby neuron works, same way you can train a system based on numerous number of data. System can automatically train and identify what the object is, whether it's a cat or whether it's a dog. This is the theme. Now, so the broader area of computer science, so it's a wide area. So anyway, the core process which will be termed as artificial intelligence, the core process which is termed as artificial intelligence, it's a core domain. It's a topmost domain in computer science field. So under that, there is a sub area which will be named as ML, machine learning. So under machine learning, again a sub area which will be called as neural network. So we are giving a very large amount of data to the neural network, that's called as big data. So it can process deeply. So you can use deep learning. So the core area, the broader area of computer science, which is called as artificial intelligence. So the tiny part, which will be termed as deep learning. So it can automatically extract a feature. It can analyze the data. Then it can easily identify what the data is. So still deep learning, it's a topmost mechanism. So all are very familiar about the buzzword, which is called as neural net. So our theme is to create an artificial neural net. So neural net, it's in our brain. So based on that, you can identify an object. So similar way, similar to the human brain neural network, it's our duty to design artificial neural network. So ANN, something which will be termed as ANN. So you design or create an artificial neural network to solve the problem in the same way human brain would. So normally, if you are giving a problem statement to identify an object or to recognize a speech or recognize a text, so how human brain analyze or human brain recognize the, so how a human brain recognize the object. So similar way, our trained ANN, artificial neural network, it can recognize what the object is, similar to human brain working procedure. So this is a human neural network. So based on that, you are converted into artificial neural network. So deep learning. So as a name itself, deep. So the first word, which is called as deep learning. All are more familiar about machine learning. So machine can learn. Now deep is a new word. So deep in the sense which comprising of many number of cascading of layers. So which comprising of many number of hidden layers. So the hidden layer and weights was increased. So it can process the data. It takes more and more time. So which need more processing power, because big data, so data size was 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 100 terabyte, so petabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte. So it's very huge. How to analyze this huge amount of data and extract what the object is, or extract what the smart data is. So that's a theme of deep learning process. So based on cascading layer, it can analyze a very large amount of data and then which can extract the smarter data. So that's a theme, that's a process of deep learning. So then we are entering into core. So the base of deep learning, it's used to identify what the object is. That's fine. The basic understanding of deep learning, it's used to identify what the object is. Then now we are entering into our core, supervised and unsupervised learning. I hope many of them familiar about the same. Anyway, I will explain 2 or 3 slides. So supervised learning, as a name itself, supervised. So it classified the object based on labels. So this is a king or queen, then pawn, something. So based on label. So already you are giving a label. This is a cat, this is a dog. The label was already given. Based on that, system can train. These 1000 images are cat. These 2000 images are dogs. So based on the label provided, that is input and output provided by the user. So based on that, system can train and then which can classify the data. But unsupervised learning, so system can automatically group. So now it's not required. So we are directly entering into supervised learning. So you are provided the input as well as output label. Based on the input and output, system can automatically train and then return the result. So this is a base. So yeah, the supervised learning which evolved in the year 2011, even not for identifying cat. So olden days, if you are searching cat videos, in YouTube, based on the text or based on the description, it can search the word cat is present or not. So it can mine the data and then return the result. This is cat. But currently computer technology themselves, they recognize cat as well as dog faces in YouTube video. So if you are searching cat, so whether the cat face is present in the video or not, it can summarize and then take a metadata and then which return a result. Not only it's searching based on text, it's searching based on video summarization, content-based video retrieval. So if you are searching cat, so whether the cat or dog, if you are searching cat or dog, it can search YouTube video, inside video, whether cat face is present or not, then it return a result. That's a huge achievement of supervised learning. So anyway, deep learning, so which purely depends on deep neural network. So there are two major kind of areas. So one which is termed as convolution neural network. So the second one which is called as recurrent neural network. So the first one which is termed as convolution neural network. So second one which is called as recurrent neural network. So convolution neural network, which purely depends on image recognition. So yes, convolution neural network, the second part which is called as recurrent neural network. Convolution neural network, image recognition. Recurrent neural network, speech recognition, text recognition, audio recognition. So this is for recurrent neural network. So convolution neural network, recurrent neural network. So recurrent neural network, which always depends on sequence of data. So recurrent neural network, which always depends on sequence of data. So, hi, how are you? So then similar way, which used to the sequence of words, how are you? So which depends on sequence of words. But in LSTM, in recurrent neural network, which depends on sequence of data, not all the data. For example, a sequence which comprising of 200 words. So it only depends on first 5 words or last or first or middle 5 words or 6 words. So it not depends on all words. So it can forget remaining words. That's called as LSTM. LSTM, long short-term memory. All are more familiar about the film named as Gajini. All are very much familiar about the film named as Gajini. So they forget whatever they see. So after half an hour or 1 hour, so they forget the thing. Similar way, after processing a word, after processing 3 or 5 words, the recurrent neural network forgot the past words. So this is a LSTM methodology. It can provide additional buffer. What are the important words are placed in the system? So it can buffer or it can catch the important words. So LSTM is a major concept. YOLO, LSTM, these are the major concepts. So anyway, the two major area of deep learning, one which is termed as convolution neural network for image recognition. The second one which is termed as, so second process which is termed as recurrent neural network, which for speech, audio and video recognition. Yeah. So automatic cars, so autonomous cars, they purely works based on this convolution neural network. So they use convolution, ReLU, pool. So these are the functions. So we will see later. So image recognition in computer vision, it purely depends on deep learning process. So why do we need deep learning? Always machine learning, all the algorithms are same, all the neural network or all the supervised learning process are same. Then why deep learnings are essential? So your all algorithms, if data size was increased, then its performance was decreased. If larger data size, if the data size was huge, then your all machine learning algorithms, which the performance of all machine learning algorithm is degraded. It's very much less. Because if you are providing larger amount of data, then only you can get a best result. But if you are providing larger amount of data, your machine learning algorithm fails. So in that case, you are entering into deep learning. So if data size was increased, the performance also increased based on deep learning. So that's a true. If you are giving larger amount of data, then automatically the accuracy was increased. But based on your machine or processing speed, your older algorithm won't work perfectly. So in that case, if data size was large, your data set was huge. Originally, if a data set was huge, then only you can get a perfect result. As a researcher, if you get a perfect result, then you need a good data set. So if you are providing that data set was very large, that is Aadhaar data. So it's very huge. So in that case, you can enter into deep learning. So deep learning, it's purely for big data. It's purely for big data processing. So now I'm directly entering into hardware and software tools. So always you are entering into newer model. So new hardware and new software tools are essential. So some of the hardware and software tools. So all are more familiar about the buzzword, which is termed as TensorFlow. It's a jargon. It's a Google's brain. TensorFlow, which is called as Google Brain. Currently, which will be called as TensorNet. So TensorFlow, which provide wide variety of Python library, which choose to handle entire deep learning process. Then Tano, anyway, Keras. Kera is another excellent deep learning framework, which comprising of wide variety of deep learning libraries. So which also supported, which also currently Keras also merged with Google. So olden days Keras in a separate company. Now Keras also owned by Google. So TensorFlow and Kera, these are the two major framework which dominates deep learning. It's purely open source. The entire things are purely open source. So it's very much useful for your research. So entirely free. Then, so TensorFlow, it's a Google open source machine learning library. So Tensor, as a name itself, it's used to handle multi-dimensional array used for neural network operations. So hardware, so for processing huge amount of data, you need an excellent hardware. So at least you need a NVIDIA DGX graphics card. So GPU processing chips or TPU, tensor processing unit, TPU processing matrix. So if your machine was in a good capability, good graphics card capability, then only it's possible for processing deep learning. So for solving this issue, we are go for Google Colab. For solving this issue, you can go for Google Colab. So before entering into Google Colab, so all are more familiar about ML, so I don't waste time here. So supervised and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning, which purely depends on input as well as output. So it's your duty to provide the label the data. So supervised learning. So there are two major categories under supervised learning. One which is called as classification. The second one which is called as regression. Classification. So identity dog or cat, something like that. So image classification, fraud detection, customer retention, medical diagnosis system. In regression is concerned, you can predict the exact value. So weather forecasting, market forecasting, life expectancy, population growth prediction. So these are some of the applications of supervised learning.